Welcome to A Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. Aging isn't always easy, but it's usually exciting when talking about beer. Maturing has never been so fun. In today's episode, we're discussing beer verticals. I'm Joanne, and along with Tori, we are two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. Don't forget, we are now on Ko-fi. You can donate to help us keep creating the great content that you want to hear. And in return, you'll get access to some bonus episodes. Currently available is our thoughts on the Yonder mystery beers and a behind-the-scenes look at Elusive Brewing's brewery. You can also let us know on there what you want to hear so that we can create the content that's best for you. Go and buy us a beer now if you can via the link in the show notes.
Oh, this is exciting. We're together again in the same place. You know, you don't get that often, so this is a special one.
Batch record. Batch record when we can.
Batch record when we can. So today we thought we would talk to you about verticals. This is a word that gets bandied about in the craft beer world.
Remember, I called it horizontals.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word.
I
couldn't think of the word, and I was like, it's either one or the other. And I was like, it's a, and I just had a complete brain fart, and I went, horizontals. No, it's not that. And you were like verticals, and I was like, that's the word I was looking for.
So, you may have heard this word horizontals. You might have heard this word verticals. You might know what people are actually talking about. So a vertical is when you drink the same beer, but it's been brewed over a number of years. So usually it's like 3 years, but like consecutive years, 3 consecutive years at a particular point in time. So you can see how a beer has changed over that time. It's the same beer. So like a brewery will make that beer. Things like Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island, Imperial Stouts that breweries make. And as we're going to show you today, Fuller's Vintage Ale. Ta-da, she says, bringing the fancy box over. So the idea of this came from, I happened to be at the Fuller's Brewery in Chiswick, and they had, I'm not even lying, a wall. I've not shown you the video yet because I took a video of it. A wall of all of the different vintages of Fuller's Vintage Ale in the shop. So we're poor. So we've only got
We be poor.
We are povos.
We are
one of our favourite cocktails.
So today's episode of I'm Rich and You're Poor.
Yes.
We're not povos today, but we are povos comparatively.
Comparatively. So we've got 2022 vintage, which is the newest one, the 2021 and the 2020 vintage in this box. I think I paid 30 quid for this box. It is a lovely wooden box, and the vintage ale always comes in like a burgundy cardboard box. And they put them into a lovely presentation collector's edition black wooden box. And then
it's a nice box.
Let's put it over here.
I've cleared some space for us.
Then you
make the center
slide off the top.
It was great. Joe was like, how do I open it? And I went, there has to be something that slides somewhere. Joe, oh, got it.
Here it is. So the top slides off, and then you can take the 3 boxes out. You can take the 3 boxes out, she says, trying to get them out. I'll assist on it. I'll be a lovely assistant. This should be some great ASMR for you people. That's 2022. It's 2023. 2021 even. And 2020. So we'll move the box out of the way. And so this is a vintage ale, which is kind of like a barley wine. So we're going to have it with some cheese for you now.
Basically, this is an excuse to eat cheese. And not only that, we have like posh cheeses.
We've got the posh cheese. So we are the.
If you're watching the video, Joe's got some
we're the
rich
rich
cheeses. We're not the povos today. We've got
today.
Although we say, as you brought the rich cheese, so you brought a just for record of what would happen. What was it?
Ashmore Farmhouse, which is made by Cheesemakers of Canterbury, and I brought the Ashmore Ancient from them, and I've also got some Kentish Blue from them, which Tori won't eat.
It's just on her plate because I won't eat it, and then I have what I bought for Christmas that I actually didn't open, and I was like, I not going to even open it between. I'll
No.
wait for you to be here. And I literally did only get this from Costco. So I say like, oh, we're not the Povos, but like I did get this from Costco. But it is a 12-month aged French cheese. So.
I did see if I could get some aged Gouda, but my Morrison seems to be not doing it anymore.
I also have other cheeses that I've got, like
Yeah,
my very
more
posh
cheese.
cheese, which was my cheddar and ale.
Oh,
Um,
from Morrison's.
but I didn't take that one out because it just didn't fit that
No.
super luxury
No.
theme
that we had
today.
today. Shall I tell you a bit more about the ones in the shop? Because so this pack was £30 if you bought the 3 together. I think that's right.
I
That's
also want it
£30.
to be known, by the way, that what
Yeah.
we're snacking with it, mostly besides the Ritz, I've got some Ritz crackers. Besides the Ritz, we're definitely not the Povos today. I've got
Definitely not
M&S
Povos.
out.
Yeah.
I've got my M&S. There's a the Cornish Cruncher biscuits, and something that's like, I don't know, what is this? The date plum and hazelnut biscuits, which I probably won't like because
Okay.
there's date in it and dried plum, but I might like it because it's small enough and in a
You know how
cracker.
you
that
are
it'll be
with
alright.
dried fruits, like
It might be okay. It's
Yeah.
small enough that I can't really see the bits in there.
Yeah.
Maybe a texture thing won't be a problem, but also
interesting.
I say we're not Povos and we're posh today. They did come in a Christmas hamper from my work.
So
Thanks,
didn't
guys.
So yes, this set was £30. The single bottle of 2022 is £6. And then people obviously buy several of them and age them over time. Now, Fuller's have been keeping some aside to sell. I believe it started in 1997. At least that's the furthest back bottle they've got. 1997. I think that doesn't seem that long ago, but it is.
I feel like in terms of beer, for me, in terms of beer, it feels like a long time. I guess I've got memories from 1997.
Yes.
However, I don't have beer that's from 1997.
No. Can you guess how much a bottle of vintage ale from 1997 costs?
120.
You're so far out.
Never mind.
£300 for a 1997 vintage ale. The others of that age are that price. It comes down 2000 is 200. And then 2004 comes down to 150. And then
2004 is still 150.
Yeah. 2010, £100. And then which one's that? 2015 is 60. 2016 is 50. 2018 is 40. 19 is 30. So 2020, if you get it on its own, is £20. Vintage ale 2021 is £10. So basically, we got the 2022 free when we bought them free
That's not
together.
bad.
Now they were doing a deal. Where you could get three of the. You get three, so you get 1997, 1998, and 1999, which would, if you bought them individually, would be £900. You could get them in a lovely presentation box, as ours was in, for only £600.
Bargain.
Right?
Actual bargain. Can I also draw attention to the fact that today on the table, we also have Chef's Reduction gourmet glaze.
Fancy.
Gourmet glaze.
Fancy.
So will I spend £600? No. But will I have some gourmet glaze with my cheese? Yes. That sounds. My face is shocked as she's reading these numbers out. So.
We didn't stretch. We didn't stretch to the £600 yet.
Hell.
And if you went on the tour, you got a 10% off in the shop. So actually, I got these for cheap because I got.
You could have got 60 quid off of that 600. So it would have only been like 500 and a bit.
Yeah, £540.
Excellent. Now that is a bargain.
Yeah. If you are somebody that has been buying the vintage ales over time and have them in your beer cellar, congratulations, because they're worth a bit of money.
So this is, I guess, my question is, because you kind of said it's like, brewed each year and you see how it's changed. Are we saying that all three of these were brewed? This one was brewed in 2020.
Yeah.
This is cool. Just qualifying. There's not like for anyone that's listening that might be like, oh, is that the same recipe? That it's just the same recipe from the same year? Is that they're redoing the recipe from 2020 in this year? So it is a case of this was This is from 2020. That's from 2021, and that's from.
So this is and so
well, the recipe's all identical for
let's
this
have a look
one.
on the back of the box. So I'm looking at the
Ooh.
2022 box. It says an annual limited edition brew, Fuller's Vintage Ale is the most special beer to leave our Griffin Brewery each year. Every vintage ale recipe is unique from the last. So 2022 brings us a splendid vintage ale with its own distinct character, mixing the best of traditional taste with new hop varieties. Pale ale and Caragold malts are combined with DRC, a double roasted crystal malt, to deliver toffee and raisin sweetness. Meanwhile, Target, Bramlin Cross, and Emperor hops provide spice and a pronounced citrus note, complemented by the zesty marmalade character of our famous Fuller's yeast. As with every vintage ale, this bottle conditioned beer is made to mature. Therefore, while we always stay at best before date, the flavours will continue to develop for many more years. And natural sediment will form to store upright and pour carefully. Now, interestingly, it's got a best before date on it of the 31st of December 2025. Bearing in mind they've got ones from 1997. There you go. But when I was on the tour,
that says 2025.
Yeah.
The best before for 2020 is December 31st, 2030.
oh,
And the 2021 best before date is 31st of December 2031.
well, I wonder. So when we were on the tour,
Interesting.
it was interesting because I thought they might have been short ones as well, but maybe it's only just started. But when we were on the tour guide told us that even though the vintage ale will have a air quotes short date on the best before of only 3 years, that is because Fuller's is now owned by Asahi. The brewing side of Fuller's is owned by Asahi. The pub side is still owned by Fuller's, but the brewing side is owned by Asahi, and Asahi won't allow them to put a longer date than 3 years, a best before date of 3 years on the packaging.
That's interesting.
That's just Asahi policy.
It's
Even though
in itself that they're
it
doing
will be
these.
fine.
It's interesting in itself that they're doing these
Yeah.
under somebody like Asahi as well.
Well, it's still brewed at the Griffin Brewery.
Yeah, but it's still interesting that that's something that they
Yeah.
maybe it's just I guess when you're selling a 3 set for 600 quid, that probably lucrative enough. I think you.
Yeah. And I believe he said that everything that's got the Fuller's name on it is brewed at the Griffin Brewery in Chiswick. They haven't contracted it out.
I drive
else.
by that brewery every time I have to go into London.
Oh,
Park in London, we drive by.
Oh. It's a nice brewery. I enjoyed it. It was very interesting. Like I've been on, as you can imagine, I've been on a lot of brewery tours now. And I like to see what new thing I'm going to learn on a brewery tour. And with the Fuller's one, it was really interesting hearing about their cask brewing, and they show you like the production line and everything, and that was really interesting. And the bit that I found particularly interesting that I took away from it, I thought this was sad. They've put some of it is a lot of it is now done by a robotic arm.
Oh.
I can't remember how many people it was, but like it's doing the job of like 6 people or something. And I'm like, where did those 6 people go when you bought the robotic arm? Like, did they get anyway? We digress because that's Fuller's decision. But they have a robotic arm that does some of it, and then they've got a robotic arm as well that puts the keg, like, so the casks, because they're reusable, are washed, put through the washer before they're refilled. But they have to put I can't remember, I think it's the keystone in. They've not found a way for a robot to do that. It has to be put in by a person. So there's literally a dude there sitting, hammering in. His job is to hammer in the keystone into the cask.
And I wonder if that
else.
Is it because it requires such like a judgment call has to be made on certain bits that you can't. There's no way to get.
Haven't managed to get a robot to be able to do it and it stay in and keep the cask properly. Like the robot just doesn't either. Like it's. I don't
There's
know
no way for it to make it,
or whether like it. Yeah, like making sure that it's in and seated properly.
I think that's
like there's just not an automated way of doing it.
It requires a little bit too much
precision.
Well, not even precision. It's not necessarily precision. Precision, yes, but a judgment call to be made that requires a person that's capable of looking at something and saying, "Oh no, I have to make a decision on that. Doesn't look right. How do I fix that?" And just something a robot isn't capable.
It still requires currently that human judgment on it, which I thought was really interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting tour if you'd like to go. I can recommend it because I enjoyed it.
I'd say like the backs of these ones were
So
all the way the same up
Yeah.
until the point of where it says at
Hops.
the heart of the pale ale and Kerrygold malts, the double roasted crystal malt.
Yeah, that's on this one.
To deliver a toffee rated sweetness. That's where it's the same.
So the malt bill's the same.
So once it goes on from there,
Yeah.
on the 2021, it says turning to hops, we're showcasing younger UK varieties for their luscious fruitiness. Endeavour brings plummy tones, while Olicana and this as yet unnamed experimental hop CF182 add tropical and orange notes, all complemented as ever by the zesty marmalade character of our famous Faelynn yeast. I don't know if you want to look up what that hop is.
I was going to say, I was going to see if that's been named now.
And
was it CF182?
CF182.
CF182 hop. It's now called Opus.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And then on the 2021, it does kind of start changing. For the 2020 one, it does start changing where it says the story starts with DRC, a double roasted crystal malt from East Anglia that promises malty sweetness rich in caramel and raisin. I think that's worded slightly different. So I wonder if maybe that was, if we were to get a 2019, if maybe that's slightly different.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And then it says, then there's the Herefordshire hops, Jester and Godiva, adding ripe berry fruit and tangy citrus notes to the signature marmalade flavours of our famous Faelynn yeast.
Nice. So these are going to be interesting then.
From your, I mean, do you before we start drinking them and eating the cheese, and I really want to eat the cheese, do you do a lot of, obviously we've done one here, but you know, do you tend to do any specific verticals or?
I haven't done, because usually the beer that you can lay down for it is fairly expensive. So, you know, you have to put quite a bit of an investment in to lay these down. I buy one of it and drink it. Or, you know, it sits around for a little bit before I share it with people. But the type of beers that you could do this with, like I said, Bourbon County Stout, you could do it with. But obviously they're £20 a bottle,
and they're not the easiest to get. I feel like when they're released, they get sold out.
Yeah, quite quickly because people are buying them and laying them down, and then they're going to do verticals. You could do Orval, which is a Belgian beer that is bretted. You can you'll find that bottle shops will have different ages of Orval, because it changes so much over time that you could potentially just buy a vertical of Orval if you're not aging it yourself. And then another one that I've seen is JW Lee's Harvest Ale, that is a barley wine that comes out around harvest time, and that often bottle shops will have had some and put them aside, or the brewery has them, and like Fuller's will put out various ages of them. I mean, I think if you've got to have patience, haven't you? Because you've got to buy them and put them down, and then not drink them, and two, hope that they do improve over time. You've got to store them correctly, because you don't just want to put them somewhere where there's going to be a cycling of heat so that it can affect it. You know, you either need to have fridge space for it, or a good cellar where you can put them, where you know that the temperatures, or, you know, a good cool dark cupboard where you know that the temperature is going to be right for it. It's a lot. It's a bit like collecting wine, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think for me, I've done it on a bit of like a more smaller, cheaper craft scale. Like you can do it. Siren puts Maiden out every year.
Yeah, Maiden is another good one, actually,
for their birthday.
Yeah,
it's hard because differently to some of these, unless you've collected it from the beginning, it's really difficult to go back and get a Maiden from. You might be able to get one from the previous year, but it tends to be like more than a year or so. It tends to be very difficult, and you do have to buy, even if you were just going to do like one vertical all out bang, like all at once, as opposed to the approach you could take, which is buy multiple and try it every year, which I'll get to in a minute.
You've got to make a decision on how many are you going to invest in.
Yes,
like, do you buy 3, so then you've got like maybe a 3 set at one point,
or do you go 2?
Yeah,
so like, for example, I think you need at least 2.
and
if you're willing to say, I'm going to pick one time to go big bang all at once, you need at least 2, because you need to try it. In my opinion, you need to try it when it comes out, so you know what it tastes like, so it actually matters when it ages. And you need to know, you need a second one at least to do that big bang. But if you're buying, you could buy 4 of them, 5 of them, and do, you know, 4 or 5 years worth every year.
Yeah, there are people like, there was someone that I was talking to, and I can't remember what beer it was, but they bought a Wild Beer Co beer every year, and they bought 12 of it. And then they had it, and then there was 1 year that they were missing, and they said to like when Wild Beer Co were doing their live events on Facebook, they said they were like, "Oh, I've been collecting them, and I'm missing some from this year," and they were like, "Well, we might have some of those." They were like, "If you can send us a picture of your cellar, like of your collection, we'll send you the ones to fill in the gaps." And he did have it, so he sent the picture of it, and they sent him the ones to fill in the gaps because it was such an amazing collection, because he had about 12 of each year.
Yeah, I know someone that collects the maidens, and we're hoping that he does like a group tasting of it. But it's also hard because on some level, when you're doing barley wines, if it's a barley wine or if it's something
Imperial stout,
it can be difficult, because if you are choosing to do this every year and have that number growing, I would find it difficult. Like, when do you call it as well? Right. I would find it difficult to say,
how do you know,
I'm going to collect 12 of them, and say they're like, some of them are 750ml sharing bottles, or the Siren ones tend to be, I think, 375ml for maiden, but
these are 500ml.
500ml, and I feel like if you're sharing it with enough people, that's fine. But if it's just you on your own, even getting 4, 5, 6 of these, most of them are going to go to waste unless you're going to spread it out over a long period of time.
I think you've got to have it as an event with at least one other person.
That's, I guess, something like for us as a top tip would be like, if you're going to consider doing this, and you have someone that is a close friend or family member that is going to be, if you're going to ask them to contribute to it, first of all, make sure it's someone that is going to be sticking around in however many years' time, not just someone in passing. And 2, definitely, like, I would say a top tip is to do it with somebody, because how you're going to, I think you really need to sit down and do them all at once in a night. Yeah. Especially if you've got one that's the current one. You don't want to be like, cool, I had the current one, now I'm trying to remember what it tasted like. Yeah. However long down the road.
And like beers that you could do it with, barley wines, imperial stouts. Sometimes you get different vintages of like wild ales and lambics and things. So you can do those, like it's Cantillon, maybe. Beers that you can age. So they're going to tend to be more malt forward. If they've got like Orval's got an interesting yeast, it's got wild yeast in it. The Brettanomyces, that's going to do interesting things to it over time.
You got people that like will age chubbles, and I'm like, maybe don't do that.
If it is as a rule,
which is an IPA, a double IPA, whatever.
You do you. If that's what you enjoy, then do it. But rule of thumb is, if it is a hop forward beer, the hop volatiles fade very quickly.
For something like that, you'd be better suited making your tasting notes very specific, and then having it again the same amount of time from the release of that beer that you had it the previous year, and compare what that similar tasting notes are to that. One other one that I did get, Wild Weather's cephalopod. Obviously we had the original cephalopod launched on the podcast. We had Ian and JD on, both formerly of Wild Weather, and when it came out I think it was this past year, this
it's 2020 and 2021.
2020 and 2021 is when it happened. I have the 2021, and we may have them after this. Don't know. We'll see how we get on with this. But it's one of those things that, again, that interesting ingredient is honey, and it's a, how does that use of honey change? Because honey is just naturally something that is different. Like you could get the same, as we talked about on that episode for the cephalopod release. You could get the same honey from the same place at a different point in time. I think another way you can do verticals as well, to be fair, is like just having a different, like the same recipe. I don't remember what I was going to say. It just left my brain, so ignore that and cut that out.
Okay.
Something popped into my brain and then it shifted and then I forgot it.
What, should we crack into these? I want to get into this cheese, actually.
Yeah, I'm hungry and I want to eat.
Right, where do we want to start?
Do we want to start with 2022 first, so I know?
With the new one. Well, obviously they are all different because they've got different hops in them, so we'll see how we go. Right.
While you do that, I'm going to cut
cut some cheese.
I'm going to cut the cheese. Rick's going to come in and be like, I'm jealous. I want to eat.
Yeah, so it does say, when I was like, I think 1997 is the first one. On the neck label of this bottle, it does say 1997 to 2022. So, the bottles are numbered. So we've got bottle 104950.
Oh, and it's an 8.5%.
8.5%.
I think from your viewpoint on the cheese side of things, is there anything other than just it will pair well and we just eat cheese?
So because it's a vintage ale, it's as it says on the back, it's got that raisiny taste to it. It's got toffee and crystally malt flavors, bit of marmalade. Like that's going to go really well with like a cheddar because the toffee notes are going to go well with the kind of saltiness. That's going to balance quite nicely. The maltiness is going to be like a cracker to go with the cheese. Just cheddar and like a vintage cheddar. You get kind of those salty crystals in there as well. Are going to go with the sweetness of it. The marmalade from the yeast and the dried fruits are kind of like a chutney to go with it. So that's why these are a good choice of cheese to go with this type of beer. I'm also going to try some blue cheese because those interesting flavours from that are supposed to go quite well with barley wine. So we'll see how it goes. Right.
It smells marmalade-y.
It does smell marmalade-y. It kind of smells like that autumn leaves smell. Get a bit dried fruit.
But it's mainly like that orangey.
Yeah, it's proper
marmalade.
orange marmalade.
A little bit of dried fruit, but it's mainly the orange marmalade. Tastes completely different than I thought it was gonna.
Toffee. Yeah. Toffee.
It is definitely more toffee.
Sultana.
A little bit like a slight tiny bit of like almost a nutty roastiness, but like very, very subtle.
There is a little bit of citrus in the back. Just makes it a bit. I think there is a little bit of booze, but I wouldn't say it was 8.
I wouldn't say it's massively, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's 8.5% boozy.
Right, where's this cheese?
Right. What's that one with that one? That cheddar one. It's good. The cheese is good.
Not you cut yours and you didn't cut mine. No,
I didn't. I didn't cut that one, to be fair. I just took one piece of cheese. I'm going to use a bit of balsamic.
Oh, here she goes.
Spice this one up.
All right, vintage cheddar. It's got the vintage cheddar's got a real slate.
I haven't had a vintage one yet. So there's almost like a bit of like woodiness in that for a minute. So that one's a vintage cheddar.
Oh,
which one's that one?
That's just a regular cheddar.
Actually,
the regular cheddar, I had a bit of like slatiness to it, and the vintage cheddar's got a bit more tang.
More tang.
That's nice.
I just like cheese. I feel like I need to. My goal for 2023 should be to build my cheese vocabulary because I'm just like, oh, it tastes like cheese. It tastes like good cheese,
you know.
Build your cheese vocabulary.
There's like a cheese course.
Yeah, but it's gonna make me have blue cheese.
Yeah, well, it will make you have weird cheeses that you don't like. Okay, I'm gonna try the blue cheese. Good luck. Good beer.
It's a nice bad boy. Honk out of this orange one. I don't actually know what it is other than the fact it's a French cheese.
I think the blue cheese dulls the flavours of the beer, actually. I think the cheddar's better.
I would say that like the original cheddar, not the aged one, is definitely. I almost think it's more sharp than the aged one.
Yeah,
and I feel like it really brings out the bitterness and a little bit more of the dried fruit in the beer compared to when I just had it before having the cheese.
Yeah, it definitely makes it more fruity. Oh, that is yum. Have you tried the French one yet?
Yeah, I just did.
With the beer.
Not with the well, hold on a minute. I just had it on its own, and then I swallowed it before I actually tried it.
Oh dear.
I like cheese. Again, I think it just really brings out a bit of nuttiness in it, actually.
You get the malts more, I think.
And then cheese and cracker it. Yeah.
Get that autumnal taste.
With the cracker, I don't know if it's that like the saltiness from the Ritz.
Yeah.
Sort of takes away a little bit of the bitterness that the cheese was sort of highlighting. It makes the cheese stand out a little bit more. It's good.
Like
interesting. I didn't really know what to expect, and I think when I smelled the marmalade, I was like, okay, is this going to be really orangey? Or...
Yeah. It's like proper barley wine, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like malty, coffee, marmalade.
I would say it's proper barley wine and the type of barley wines that I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's not the ones that are a bit more, the ones that can be a little bit more vinous that I'm like, oh, it's not for me. The ones that's really boozy.
Yeah.
Now, some people like that.
Yeah. And some people would turn around and be like, oh, 8.5%. That's not proper. Well, actually, STAR guidelines for a barley wine are 8 to 12%. So it's on the lower end, but it is within STAR guidelines.
I'm going to try this date plum and hazelnut biscuit. Okay. A bit sweet. It brings out the bitterness and that, because I think the sweet cancels out the sweet.
Yeah.
But it works really well with the cheese. There's no texture problems. I'm into it.
Right, do you want to try the next one?
Yeah. I'm ready. Just my glass door, swizzle swazzle. Oh, we didn't take a break.
Right, there's still more, so we can pour some more. Right, so I only poured us a little bit so we can swirl, so that's it. I'm doing good. All right, 2021, we got bottle 068816.
Again, it's consistency 8.5%.
Yeah,
it's not. We're all 8.5%, so that's good. Need some more cheese. I finished my normal cheddar too quickly. Head on it as well is like quite nice.
Yeah, it's a very like it
was just kind of clinging to the glass when I sort of swirled it. Like almost like when you swirl it, it's just like reappears, and it looks like foamy. Like it looks like a light foamy.
Yeah,
that's for latte.
And the colours lovely. It's a nice like amber. It's very clear.
I would say this one smells more toffee.
Yeah,
this one doesn't.
Less marmalade.
Yeah, less marmalade, less like that the orangey notes, the zesty notes, more toffee maltiness.
I'm smelling more booze.
I'm smelling more booze as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has to do with the age, though. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
over time, like, is that
Yeah.
going to change? Which that's interesting. Like, with these being aged, the ABV's not changed. Is that like? Would that be something that would change with time?
No, because it's not being re-fermented. The
Well, I
bit
guess,
that
yeah, to
alcohol
be fair.
comes from fermentation.
So I'm guessing they've probably as well, like, they've been bottled,
Yeah.
and sat there, and that's fair.
I mean, there is some secondary fermentation because obviously it's bottle conditioned, so the yeast is in there, but
Not enough.
Not enough to change the ABV drastically.
This one's a weird one because this one, I
tried
almost
it.
have the exact opposite. Yeah. Or maybe try it first to make up your mind. But I almost had the exact opposite, where this smells more toffee and malty, but I'm getting a little bit of orange in the taste. And it doesn't taste as boozy.
It doesn't
initially,
taste as boozy.
But at the back end, there's like a little bit of boozy.
Yeah.
I kind of like this one better. It
I think
tastes
this
more like,
one's-
and I don't know if it's because I've had this biscuit in my mouth and it's now emulating this biscuit, the sweetness of this biscuit.
Do you think it's? I'm finding it smoother.
Yes, I would agree. And I wonder if that's something that just happens with time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, because the flavours will round out. It definitely smells. I think it smells more like caramel.
Yes.
On the aroma rather than toffee.
Yeah.
Like if you can imagine the difference between toffee and caramel.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's a little bit more bitter.
Yeah.
Than the other one. Immediately bitter.
Yeah. Right, where's some cheese?
That normal cheddar sort of removes the bitterness from it. I like that. That's a good one. I'm a fan of that one. I'm a fan of that combo.
Yeah, a bit of caramelness.
It's made it sweeter.
Yeah.
The aged one almost made it a bit fruity.
Yeah, I'm getting more marmalade.
Yeah.
From that.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Because I expected already from the taste of the cheese for the aged one to be sharper, but the normal cheddar is sharper. And I almost I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think they would cause a massive difference in how they made the beer taste, but they have. I might need a little bit more on that because I think I might.
I just tried the blue cheese with it, and it brings out the caramel notes. It's a bit like having like chutney.
Interesting.
With your blue cheese. That's nice.
Let me try this French one.
Yeah. Oh, I only had a little bit of the French one, so that's not. Welcome to Faelynn. Welcome to the Women's Brew's lunch table today.
A woman's cheese.
The women's cheese.
What do you call a cheesery?
Cheesemonger.
Cheesemonger. Welcome
Dairy.
to a women's brew dairy. A women's dairy.
I mean, we didn't make the cheese.
A women's dairyum. I don't know. I don't know. I call a kebab shop a kebabery.
Do you?
Thing. Yeah, I think it's fun. And Rick's just like, what the fuck is a kebabery? And I was like, well, that's where you get kebab. I mean, we don't get kebab. We are not kebab people, but I like to call it a kebabery. Fun fact. Makes sense. I'm gonna try it with a
French
biscuit.
cheese. Have you tried it with the French cheese?
Mm.
Really get the caramel.
I like the Ritz paired with it. That works well because it's like almost a bitter immediately and then it goes a little bit sweet. Cornish cruncher. I'll give this one a go. Such cheese as well, isn't it? Tastes like a Cheez-It. Literally tastes like an American Cheez-It.
I think because of what the cheese that's in these crackers is quite strong. I think it's
Overpowers
overpowering it.
completely. All it tastes is Cheez-It.
Yeah. So you do have to be careful with your choices. Listeners, don't want to overpower either.
Well, it needs to complement. I'm trying this with a bit of balsamic glaze. I'm going to do like this weird combination of sharp cheese, sweet biscuit, and then a balsamic glaze and see how this goes down. Nothing to do with the beer. We just missed lunch. We worked through lunch.
Yeah, this is lunch. Well, this is quite a fun lunch, to be fair.
It's my most preferred lunch. That was an excellent combo.
Yeah.
I really rate.
Nothing to do with beer, though.
Nothing to do with beer. Let's try with a sip of beer then. The taste that's left in my mouth goes well with the beer. So that's good.
Right, we open the third one.
Yeah. Anyways, and there's this.
Powering through, dear listeners. Oh, this one's got it's not got a neck label. It's got a label over the top.
Oh, it almost feels a bit sad and kind of want to.
I'm going to unpeel it because it was unstuck anyway. I don't want to break it.
Hear that rain? It's raining. Ooh.
Right,
This is the best day to eat cheese and have beer.
Yeah,
when it's rainy.
It's a bit rainy, gloomy outside, so
Yeah, 100%. I'm regretting taking my dog out on this. This is no.
All right, 2020.
Okay.
Same colour. Same lovely head.
Oh, these are not the things you want to like neck. I'm going to make that
don't
clear.
do that. These are sippers.
We need to like, honestly, why don't we say dippers are a thing? We need to like start calling things sippers.
Yeah, sippers. Well, because it's a double IPA, that's why it's a dipper.
No, I know. What I'm saying is like we need to have like make a category that's like sippers, and that's like any beer that's just one that you want to sip on versus like, I mean, I don't want to chug any of them, but I know some people like doing chugs. But this smells more boozy. Oh, it's weird. It almost feels like it's a little bit of
floral. I'm getting like orange blossom rather than marmalade. What hops were in this one? 2020. Jester and Godiva. Should be adding ripe berry fruit and tangy citrus. I don't know about that. We haven't tried it yet, I say.
I was like, if you say berry in my head, I'm like, okay,
Sorry.
yeah, I can get berry.
Should I get that quiet?
But I was getting orange blossom.
Orange blossom. I'll get floral.
I don't know, like for me, it wasn't massively floral.
No, it's only a touch of it.
But you're right, it wasn't. It was orangey, but not landing in a marmalade-y way.
No,
but also maybe
Faelynn.
Boozier. Is she nudging you?
No, she's licking my leg because I think there's a bit of cheese on there.
Don't be a dick. Sorry, my dog's under the table.
Okay.
She's an asshole.
She's trying to eat the cheese.
This is like a look into my. If anyone's watching the video as well, this is not only a look into my life. This is a look into my lounge.
No,
we're recording in my lounge today, and my table's not normally in the lounge. We hosted Christmas and post-Christmas festivities, so that's why we're here. We've got a bigger table here, and nothing will spill on my nice new setup.
Definitely more booze.
100%. It smells more like a barley wine.
Well, as well, I don't think I'm wrong in saying, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I am.
They won't hesitate, don't worry.
As time goes on, obviously the alcohol molecules kind of they get kind of released.
Oh.
And they are oxidized by the oxygen that is, because there is still a tiny bit of oxygen when you seal a bottle, and that degrades the malt and it will degrade alcohol, but that will produce different aromas and flavors.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm having a lot of fun swirling it, because
we
the more I swirl it,
we didn't talk about the glasses.
We've got Emperors, and you've got
a Kentucky bourbon barrel ale.
Yeah, my dad got me that because he was like, obviously, because my parents are so supportive. They really are genuinely like so supportive when it comes to stuff. But now, because I like beer, when I go out places, my dad's like, "Do you like that glass? Do you want that glass? Do you want it? Do you want it?" And this
my dad goes, "Oh my god, did you go somewhere? Did you get another glass? How many hundreds of glasses have you got?"
Fair, like I'm very much like my dad, and my dad's like me, where he's just like, "We've got don't be limited by having a million of them. If you like that one, have that one." And he's like, "Do you like this one? Do you want it? Do you want one of those?" He was all like, can't wait for you to try some of the beers that are at this place. And he took me there and he was like, you'll love it. He doesn't even drink beer, but he was like, you'll love it. And then he was like, do you like that glass? Do you want a Kentucky glass? And I was like, yeah, all right then. And he was like, I'll get the glass, don't worry. I didn't steal it. He did not steal it.
I haven't shown you my new glass.
You
I got from
haven't?
Tesco's the other day.
From Tesco?
From Tesco's. It was obviously a Christmas pack.
Yeah.
And it had some beers in it that you may now have to go to your office. The glass.
I know exactly which ones you speak of.
It was kind of a large thistle shaped glass. You know what I mean when I say thistle? So it's kind of bulbous, but then it's got like the neck kind of comes out, so it looks like a thistle.
Yeah.
But it's a slightly larger one of those. And I bought it because I was like, oh, that'd be good for like tastings, and I might be doing a live show once a week with some tasting a beer. So I thought that'd be a good glass for it. I haven't shown it to you, but I got it in Tesco's.
So good. I've just been liking stirring it because every time I swizzle this, the head gets. No, it's not only that. The head just gets really foamy, and it looks.
Look at those
kind
legs,
of like,
though.
I mean, yeah, legs for days. This is like supermodel of America.
If you've not heard us talk about legs before, when you tilt a glass and pull it away, this is like a wine thing as well.
Yeah,
you can see there's like almost an oily sheen left on the glass, and that is the alcohol. So when you've got a high alcohol beer or wine, you will see this quite clearly on the glass. So we've been talking about these glasses. We haven't said what they are. They are snifters, so they're the kind of shorter ones. They're like a brandy glass, if you know what that is. They're quite bulbous, and then they taper in, and they're quite short, and they're stemmed.
Think so what you drink brandy out of.
Exactly what you drink brandy out of. So it means that you've got a good space, and I'm not filling them to the top. I'm only kind of giving this.
No, we're just swirling, and more
like
so I'm swirling. I'm swirling because it keeps making the head foamy like a nitro.
Your hand is on the stem, not on the bowl, so you're not adding heat to the beer.
However, it works out really well if it's a stout, like a stout that you want to kind of warm
because
up.
then you can warm it up if you want to, because you can
that action,
put it in your hands. But also because it's a good swirl, and then where it tapers in at the top, it captures that aroma, so it funnels it to your nose, and you can do a good swirl. Top tip, if you want to do this, do not fill the glass all the way to the top,
or it's going to go
right. I know that you want to fill it to the top so you get a lovely Instagram photo. I am also a culprit of this. But if you want to swirl it, you only want to do it about half full, if that.
Because it's like SeaWorld, the first 5 rows you will get wet.
You will splish it everywhere. And if you put,
and then it's awkward, it's sticky, it's a mess.
When you want to capture it, you put your hand over the top of the glass and swirl. If it's too high up, you are just going to get beer on your hand. Like, done it many times.
I mean, even if you do it half up, if you do it aggressively enough,
it'll get up there. But
you need to do it aggressively. But
so this one, orange blossom.
So let's get back to the beer. But I've just been having so much fun. I'm mesmerised by the swirling.
Right, we actually tasted it. Right, let's go.
Nuttier.
Yeah.
Immediately nuttier. More mild in terms of booziness for me. Is it because I've let it sat here swirling for so long?
Possible. Let me do a little top up, because we might have released all of. There may not be a lot of carbonation, and we may have released it. So let's top that up. Because if you swirl it around, you will release. But that is releasing the aroma particles and the carbonation, which then pushes that up to your nose.
Well, you've just re-topped up the head though. Yeah. I swirl again. I'm resisting the urge.
Yeah, that's better.
I also am acutely aware of how unfun this is for people to listen to, because it's just us eating and being like, we're just gonna drink this one now. Nuttier, way nuttier, and the least boozy out of all of them for me.
I think it comes in the back end though.
No, I don't even get that.
I get a little bit in the back end. No. I think this one can be dangerous.
I've got a little bit of roastiness in the back end for me. Not a lot, just this tiny little bit that kind of goes hand in hand with a little bit of nuttiness for me.
Rather than roasty, I'm getting it as like kind of dark bread crust.
Toasted.
Yeah,
maybe toasted.
Toasted. There we go.
Toasty.
And this is why you should have a discussion with your beer friends.
Yeah.
Drink.
We talk about in the middle.
Yeah. Drink, have a moment, but then discuss it, because they may say something that you're like, oh, actually, it's that.
I do that with you all the time.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is what I'm thinking.
It's the best bit of sharing beers.
I'll give you I'll throw out 3 or 4 things that I'm like, here's things that it makes me think of, and it like I tend to be. This has nothing to do with vertical, but it does have to do with tasting with friends.
Tasting beers.
I will be like, here's a thing that it's not this.
Yeah.
It's not this. It reminds me of this, but not that. And then you'll go,
and I give you
is it like this? And then I'll go, no, it's like that, but a little bit more.
Yeah.
Something else. And then you'll go, how about that?
Yeah.
And I'll go, that's it.
But
That's why I feel like I am getting caramelly notes.
I was getting nutty, I was getting toasty.
At the moment.
Little bit.
In the moment and the aftertaste, no. But now that I've sat here for a minute having a conversation, it's left in my mouth a little bit of caramel.
I'm trying to cut cheese and talk at the same time.
Do you think there's going to be any cheese?
I don't think there's any floral. I don't know. Maybe we'll eat all of it. Maybe we'll eat all the cheese. Who knows?
I'm not even mad about it.
Maybe we'll do a little update.
I'm not sorry. I don't apologise.
So you know. I don't get that floral note that I get in the aroma in the taste. And I think it is the smoothest of the three.
It is the smoothest.
Imagine what that 1997 one tastes like. I don't want to spend 300 quid on it though.
I mean, I don't. I really, really don't.
I would be really interested to see what it tastes like.
If you've got a 1997 and you're having a bottle share,
let us know. We will
invite us to your bottle share. We will bring you localized cheeses.
We will bring cheeses.
We're povos. We can't afford to pay you, but we'll pay you in cheese and M&S biscuits.
On I'm Rich You're Poor.
Today
Totally stealing that.
I'm Rich You're Poor.
I'm going to have to tag him in. I'm going to have to put him in the show notes because we love this guy.
I love him. And I'm really sorry, we're not taking your shtick. We would never, we're not going to steal this and start going, I'm Rich You're Poor. But also, I'm Rich You're Poor. Please invite us to your bottle share with your your very expensive bottle of 1997, and we'll do everything we can to bring M&S selection things.
That's another thing.
And not be povos. We'll dress up. We'll put on fancy dresses.
We will.
It'll be.
I've got outfits. We scrub up quite well.
We'll go. We will treat this with the utmost class, as any rich person will.
Yes. I'll bring one of my loungefly bags. I think this is add to my when I'm a millionaire list. So I've recently started to enjoy loungefly bags, but I've said when I am when I am a millionaire, that's when I'll have a loungefly bag collection. When I'm a millionaire, we'll do the
vertical baby.
The
wonders are
vintage ale.
I would just say as well, just to clarify, we are joking. However, like I do understand that it's for some people you don't have to have extortionate amounts of money and be considered rich to be able to like buy something like this. Like if this is your passion and you put that's what you want to spend your money on, and that is like no judgment. But also you can invite us to your box.
But also please invite us to your box.
We want to be your friends.
I'm gonna try some cheese.
Oh, it's just so good. I don't really want to try the cheese with it.
Oh, that's chutney. That's a Werther's original caramel.
What's really weird is which one did you try?
So I just tried the regular cheddar.
I tried the regular as well, and for me, it did nothing for the taste really, but the taste of normally when we're talking about food enhancing the beer and changing the beer, like okay, I got that. No, the beer changed the taste of the cheese, and it made the cheese actually a little bit saltier. I feel like it brought out salty notes in the cheese, but the cheese did nothing to take out anything from the beer.
In the beer is them pulling out the saltiness of the cheese.
I feel like I licked something that had salt on it, but like in a good way because I like salt, so it's good. But
don't shove me.
At least she didn't come up to you. Normally she comes up and she goes,
right, vintage.
Right, vintage. Hang on.
Similar, not as good. I'm really enjoying this Ashmore cheddar.
Again, I think
that's that one.
The vintage. That's the vintage.
That's the vintage. It's ancient.
I'm wrong because you had said that one was the regular and that was the vintage. So everything I've just said about the vintage, I feel like I've been gaslit. I didn't know it's really sharp. How is the really sharp one the regular?
And I've been like, oh, why does the regular cheddar taste like flint?
It's just like fucking elevated.
The way around. Sorry,
one's good.
Yeah,
but I was like,
sure. I don't even know what
gaslit. Quite frankly,
apologies.
Sure,
apologies. I read the label wrong, but it's fine. But it's still valid.
It is still valid, but also I was confused.
It's fun.
Oh, I'm crazy.
I need a bit more. Gonna try the blue cheese in a minute.
Again, I feel like no matter what cheese I'm having, it's not changing the taste of the beer. The beer is actively changing how I interpret the cheese for me. But I quite like it's staying smooth. It's staying very mild in terms of booziness. Like 8.5%, absolutely not. It tastes like, for me, it tastes closer to like, the 5%, like between 5 and 6%.
This one is so smooth.
It's very smooth. There's like pretty much no carbonation to it really at all.
I'm going to put this out here and be controversial.
Okay.
Blue cheese is always said to be amazing in barley wine. I personally don't enjoy the combination as much as I enjoy a good vintage cheddar with.
We did it, guys. We did it.
I mean, I still love.
I'm going to put this out here as if I'm not going to be like, yes, guys.
Yeah, I still love a blue cheese. But if I'm going to pair cheese with a beer, I'd probably go for a vintage cheddar rather than a blue cheese.
Like, we got a W, guys. We finally did it. I'm going to do my weird combination again of sweet biscuit, normal cheddar this time. The actual normal, not the sharp one. And a touch of balsamic, a little chef's kiss of balsamic.
I think the French cheese brings out like the malt more. And so it's a bit more nutty and bready and toasty. So it's like having it on a cracker.
That combo is the only thing that's made this a little bit more bitter. But not by much.
Because the sweetness of the balsamic's taken away from the sweetness of the beer.
The sweetness of the biscuit, probably, because the biscuit's quite sweet. Very sweet. Which, to the point that this was given to me as part of like a cheese sampling set, but I'm actually not sure if it's meant to be with cheese. Because it's almost like too sweet. And my problem in this country, I'm going to go on a rant now. My problem is in this country, everything's labelled as a biscuit.
Yeah.
And it's like these biscuits are like basically cookies, what I'd know as a cookie. And these biscuits are what I'd be known as crackers that go with cheese. It's confusing for someone like me. I'm not sure if this biscuit is meant to be a sweet biscuit or a cracker.
Read it, see what it says. There's no picture of cheese on the box.
No, but it was given to me with a bunch of like charcuterie stuff. Although, you know what? It doesn't say. However, I'm into it. I'm into the fact the sweet and the cheddar together. So
I just had the Cornish cruncher.
I had that, and
it brings out the bitterness more.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's overpowering. I don't think it works. Gonna second that. Doesn't work.
The Cornish crunchy definitely overpowers everything.
But yeah, there you have it.
It's good. I mean, do we want to go back to the first one and just
go back to the first one?
Let's finish this. We'll go back to the first one and see how drastically it feels like it's different now. Because I actually feel like it's maybe this is part of what has to do with the aging process. Anyways, it's like I feel like it started off for me like the 2020 was just a little bit more bold, is the word I'll use. Bold in all aspects.
Oh yeah.
And then slowly just got a little bit
cheese crumbs off of my trousers.
And slowly just got more and more.
Stop it.
Mellow is what I'll say. That's what I'm sticking to. It starts off bold and then gets more mellow.
Yeah, because I think because the aging process is just rounding out all of those flavours. It's good. I've enjoyed this.
I have.
Let's go back to the original.
Back to the original.
All right, so we're back to the original. 22.
Cheers. Distinguished gentlewomen.
This needs to be our cheers.
Oh yeah, our distinguished gentlewomen. Cheers. Is that a thing, gentlewomen?
It can be. We can make it a thing.
It tastes more orange to me.
It tastes more orange. Obviously, that must be a volatile that goes off over time.
But I also wonder because originally, unless I'm misremembering what I said about an hour ago, it felt like originally it smelled really orangey, but then the taste, didn't taste as orangey. I feel like after working our way through, it tastes more orangey to match the marmalade smell.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say it warmed up a bit, but we didn't actually have it in the fridge. Controversial. We kept it on the side. Tori's house is cold. It's chilly. It's cold. And I would say with a vintage ale, you want it at cellar temperature, not fridge temperature anyway. But opening
My house is weird temperatures because it's like one room will be like warm as fuck, and then the other room will be like a cellar, and then you shut the door and it starts off cold and then gets warm, and not because of the heating. It's weird. I'm glad that someone else is in agreement, because Rick and I feel like crazy people.
No.
And we're like, no, it's cold.
I'm like,
That's why I have my cupboard with my bottles and stuff in it. And people are like, it has to go in the fridge. I was like,
looks fine.
but it is cellar. Like,
No,
you
you're
don't
right.
understand it's cellar temperature. And they're like, but it's not. There's no way. I was like,
Yeah.
but it is.
If it's a dark cupboard, you're fine.
It's a dark cupboard in my cold kitchen.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
Your house is chilly.
it is chilly.
Was it like in the summer?
Same.
Chilly?
Chilly. Even though I've got a south facing garden.
Yeah,
Chilly.
interesting.
I don't know why. I think all the heat gets locked in there. My conservatory's that way.
As well, I'm going to cut all this out.
Yeah. Just feel like I'm put it in there.
So I think you can taste the carbonation, whereas the other two have rounded out a bit.
Yes, agree. I think it's you can
orange-
see what's interesting is you can see or taste
The progression.
the progression
which is
from
the whole
carbonation.
point. The whole point of verticals, because you get that cyclical thing, and we've just done the cyclical thing on the podcast and come back around to that.
I would say that it's not even that it's like aggressively carbonated.
No.
Like, we're not even saying it's over
No,
carbonated.
but
you
you
can
can
taste a slight
tears
tears in the back of your mouth. There's a slight carbonation, and it's slowly, you can see the next one, the 2021 had like a little bit less, and the 2020 it was like non-existent. And I'd be interested to see even what 2019 was like. So
I mean, I'm glad we tried this young. I enjoy it, but it's been really interesting trying the others, especially with the cheese. This is an event, people. No, Faelynn.
she's like, excuse you, Faelynn, come
No.
come on.
Fine. It's fine. She wants pickles. Riches.
Bitches get britches.
I think, like, if you want to do a vertical, get 3 beers, get some cheese, get some snacks
Get your
in,
friends.
get your friends round. Like, this
Get your
is,
Faelynn round.
this is a fun time. Like, don't bring Faelynn, because she's gonna
Fucking loves
she's
cheese.
gonna hoover up the crumbs.
She bogarts the cheese. It's not good.
And then she'll want switches when you're trying to do something. So, but this is
She's getting
like,
it though.
she's getting. I mean, she's getting what she wants.
hasn't.
So, yeah. So, but I think this was fun times.
This is fun times.
I
want to go eat the rest of the cheese.
Let's go eat the rest of the cheese.
Cool.
And if you'd like to talk to us about verticals, or maybe you've done a particularly interesting vertical that you could tell us about, you can get hold of me at my beer school, Love Beer Learning, and that is available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Pinterest. You can also find more information at my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. If you'd like to speak to Tori, she is adventures_in_optimism on Instagram. She's also on TikTok. Go and check out her videos. Or you can email her directly, adventuresinoptimism@gmail.com. If you'd like to talk to us both, we are A Woman's Brew on Instagram, or you can email us a woman's brew podcast @gmail.com. Until next time, cheers.